Hey guys, I'm back. First of all, I want to thank all of you for the support you have shown on my video for the IPL player releases, the IPL 2021 player releases that recently happened. Thanks for all the overwhelming response and your comments on my videos. Continue to share those with your friends who like some of these IPL teams and who are supporting them. Hopefully we'll get more information and more comments from the people who support these teams on which players these IPL franchises should pick. Today I'm going to talk about the awaited and upcoming India versus England Test series. I'll do a quick review on the test squad that has been announced by India for the first two test matches that will be played in Chennai, and in the next video I'll talk about the England squad that has been identified and which will participate in the upcoming first two test matches for this very important India versus England series, which is going to define who will be the finalists who will play in the Test Championship. And England is going to be very focused on this series because they need wins here. Winning in India is no joke, so they'll have to be very focused and they'll have to play to their strengths to get a victory against this Indian side, which is very high on confidence after their amazing Border Gavaskar Trophy win. They just defeated Australia 2-1, I should say, sorry, in their home ground, and that is just outstanding. The series was just amazing to watch. I stayed up late night to watch these games, and it was as nail-biting and thrilling as a T20 match would be. The love of Test cricket never dies, and I think it's one of the most amazing formats of cricket, and this series proved that. I'm sure there are a lot of people who weren't watching Test cricket. They have come back to watching Test cricket thanks to the Border Gavaskar Trophy and the amazing performance that this Indian team, which was plagued by a lot of injuries, they did an excellent job, and they have done and achieved something that no other team has achieved before. And you know, this type of a performance with the team that they had at hand, they were literally scrambling for players in the last test match to get 11 on the field, but they were able to actually win that game in Gabba, and Rishabh Pant played a big role in that win, and each and every team member performed, and this was a total team victory, as you would say. So let's come back to focus on the squad that has been selected for this England tour for the first two test matches. Couple of big re-entries, injuries have been resolved. The first one being Virat Kohli, our captain. He is coming back from his paternity leave. He will be available for selection, and he will take the charges back of the team from Ajinkya Rahane, our vice captain. These two are going to be very important for India in the middle order. It's a home series. India always does well in the home series, and the batsmen set it up, and our spin bowling contingent is what wins games for us by taking those 20 wickets. The current fast bowling squad that India has, I think, is best, and there's so much competition. India hasn't seen so much competition in the fast bowling department for a long time, and it's very heartening. IPL also has a lot to take credit for from this, and also the culture that Virat Kohli brings in of fitness and how important the fast bowlers are, and that's what has led to the development of this crop of fast bowlers. So first person in the squad, Virat Kohli, skipper. Second person, key middle order batsman Ajinkya Rahane. What Rahane did in the Australian series as captain after Virat Kohli left after the first test is outstanding. He's been getting a lot of kudos for what he was able to achieve with the team he had, and I think he totally deserves all of it. Part of the team I think has already reached Chennai, and they are now doing the quarantine that is required in this COVID world. So the team is going to get together soon and start practicing. Let's now go and talk about the opening combinations that we have. First player that comes on the list is Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma came back to test matches in the third test against Australia. He's done reasonably well in Australia. He was able to give good starts, but he didn't convert those starts, and I think that is something that's going to be a pain point for all these Rohit Sharma fans. me being one. I love Rohit Sharma. I think he's going to bring a lot of color and flavor to this Indian opening combination. Next player is Shubman Gill, the up and coming youngster who performed in Australia very well. He played an match winning innings of 91 against this Aussie team in the fourth innings. I think it was an exceptional innings. I think he's going to grow more and more after that innings of his. So Shubman Gill, I think, is going to be our second opener. The backup opener that we have is Mayank Agrawal. Mayank was a part of the 11 the first two tests and then played in the middle order in the fourth test. He did not have a good start to the Australian tour, and that's probably was the reason why he got dropped in favor of Rohit Sharma. Mayank has done really well for India in the last year or so, and he's a great player. I hope that he gets a chance to come back. This Indian batting lineup, as always, is very, very competitive, and there are so many people vying for those spots in the opening or middle order. Wherever you see, there's a lot of competition for the batting slots. So Mayank Agrawal, I think he should stay patient, and given an opportunity, he should perform. He's a really good player, and I hope he stays in the Indian squad mix, and if for the 11 he's competing and he continuously grows on that role. I see him as a long-term prospect. So Mayank Agrawal is the third opener in the squad. The next player, our number 3, Chaiteshwar Pujara, rock solid. He had a great tour to Australia. He did very well. He did a great job of blunting the fast bowling contingent of Australia. He was playing at a very slow strike rate for the first 100 balls, and then he tried to play a little differently after 100 balls, but I think he almost every game and every inning played at least 100 balls, and that helped the lower middle order by blunting the new ball effect. Chaiteshwar Pujara is very important for India's plans, hopefully on the Indian pitches, and hopefully after getting a good start from Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, he'll be able to play with a little bit more freedom, and that will give him the opportunity to score some runs as well. His primary objective, as always, is going to be crease occupation. So Chaiteshwar Pujara is going to be very important to the Indian team as expected. The next player that we have in the squad is KL Rahul. KL Rahul is an excellent batsman by himself. He's been in the squad for a little bit now. He got injured in Australia and came back halfway of the tour, but he's now fit, and he's going to be in the mix. I doubt he's going to get a game in the 11, but I think he'll still be with the team for the full series, I'm hoping, and that's going to be important for his growth in the test arena. So KL Rahul is our next backup batsman. Moving on to the wicket keepers. The wicket keeper in the squad are still the same as the Australia tour. We have Rishabh Pant, who has proved himself to be an asset to the team by playing some swashbuckling innings in Australia. He is a great prospect. There is room for improvement, obviously, for his wicket keeping skills, which I think he's working on, and I hope good luck to him on improving his wicket keeping, because if that does not happen, there's a chance that people may have to start thinking about playing him purely as a batsman and then playing another keeper as well. But we hope for India's sake that he can improve a little bit in his keeping, and I see a lot of hard work going in. He's improved from what he was a couple of years back, so there's a lot of improvement, but there's still room for improvement for Rishabh Pant in the wicket keeping arena. In the batting arena, there's no other wicketkeeper batsman that touches his class right now. There is competition. There are people like Sanju Samson or even Ishan Kishan who are knocking the doors, but I think Rishabh Pant is ahead of them now because of his performances overseas in the last 2-3 years in test matches. And the second wicketkeeper that we have is Vridhiman Saha. I think Saha is going to be our backup keeper. Saha is touted as one of the best wicketkeepers in India, but I think Rishabh Pant's batting is what turns the tide, and it makes him the favoured batsman for the Indian Test team. That was the wicket-keeping contingent. Next up, let's talk about the all-rounders that we have in the team. We have a good chunk of all-rounders in the squad, which is very helpful, helps maintain the balance. The first all-rounder in the squad that is making sort of a comeback, he was a part of the ODI and T20 setup but wasn't in the test matches, is Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya can get a game because if India wants to play a two pace, two spin type setup in the 11, then Hardik Pandya could be a person who could roll his arm over, assuming that he's back to his bowling fitness. If he's not bowling, I have a doubt that he'll get a game in the 11, because we have multiple other all-rounders who can do both batting and bowling. Hardik Pandya is super talented. He can provide a good base at number 7, and I hope he can come back to bowling fitness soon, and that will help him come into the playing 11. Next one is Ravichandran Ashwin. Ashwin did really well in Australia. He had his focus and he was working on Smith, and Smith is a big wicket in Australia, right? So he did a good job by getting Smith out multiple times. He was injured and did not play the last test match, but now he's back to fitness. Ashwin is going to be a mainstay in the lower middle order, and with his off-spin bowling, Ashwin is definitely going to be in the 11, I would think. The next player is Washington Sundar. Washington Sundar is like a story where it's like a dream come true. He was in the squad as just like a nets bowler, but he got the opportunity to actually play in the 4th test match as the all-rounder, spin bowling all-rounder for India, and he performed very well. He did well with the bat in both innings. He did well with the ball in both innings. Got key wickets for India. Kept the scoreboard ticking when he was batting, and kept the scoreboard quiet when he was bowling. Will he get a chance to be in the playing 11? It's a little dicey. I have a feeling that it will be a toss-up between him and Kuldeep Yadav as to who will be the second spinner. And Ashwin being an off-spin bowler himself, I have a feeling they may go for Kuldeep Yadav for variety, but that is yet to be seen. So we'll see what happens. But I hope Washington Sundar is a part of the setup in the long run, and I think I see him as a very talented player, and he'll play for India for a long time. He's just 21 years of age right now. The next player that we have is Aksar Patel. Aksar Patel got picked, I think, more because Ravindra Jadeja is injured. Aksar Patel is sort of a like-for-like replacement for Ravindra Jadeja, and once Jadeja is fit after the 2 test matches are done with England, we'll see what happens if Aksar Patel is retained or if Jadeja comes back. Aksar Patel also has a chance of playing in the 11 just because of the variety that he can bring, because of his left arm orthodox bowling. I think it is going to be between Kuldeep, left arm Chinaman, Aksar Patel, left arm orthodox, and Washington Sundar, right arm off spin. Unless India decides to play 3 spin bowlers, I think one of those 3 will be picked, along with Ravichandran Ashwin as the second main spinner, lead spinner. The next player is Shardul Thakur. Shardul Thakur also got opportunity in the last test match. He performed really well. He surprised everybody with his batting talents. He did well with the ball as well in both innings. He got 7 wickets, I think, in the test match, and then he scored a well-made 67 in the first innings, which was a leading run scorer for our Indian squad in the first innings. So that's what Shardul Thakur brings to the table. Will he get a chance in the playing 11? I doubt that is going to happen. This squad basically that has been announced is a bigger squad than normal because of the whole COVID regulations. It's a 18 people squad instead of a regular 14-15 that used to be announced previously. So we do have some extra names in them, but it's an opportunity for them to be in the setup and play with everyone and be with the group and perform. Okay, the next up is the set of bowlers that we have. First one being our spin bowling left arm Chinaman bowler Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep was unfortunate to be not able to get a game in Australia, but I think he is super talented. He's performed well for India in test matches and ODIs and T20s before. I hope he gets a game against England because he's super talented and he deserves a game in home conditions with his spin bowling. I hope he's in the playing 11, and I hope he can perform up to the mark and then come back into the fold for even ODIs and T20s as our lead spinner. Next up is our set of fast bowlers. First one is a comeback man, Ishant Sharma. Ishant Sharma is coming back after his injury. He was not on the squad and toured to Australia. So that is going to be a big re-entry for the Indian squad. Ishant Sharma is key to our fast bowling plans. He's a person who can bowl a lot of overs. He takes wickets and he is a different type of bowler than the other bowlers that we have. So he's going to be a good addition addition to the squad, and I think he will be in the playing 11 along with Jasprit Bumrah. He's our next fast bowler that we'll talk about. Bumrah has been a revelation in all three formats for the last couple of years. Jasprit Bumrah is going to be key to our plans, and I think he's going to be someone who's going to be important in getting those early wickets, and also when there's a lot of overs that some of the players play, people like Joe Root can get stuck in. That's when I think the captain will turn to Bumrah to get a big breakthrough. Bumrah is our breakthrough man. He can be very efficient and he can bowl long overs as well. There are so many good players who didn't get picked for this tour. I'll talk about them as well, but I have a feeling that it will be Ishant Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah as our lead fast bowlers for the first test match, and then Ashwin and Kuldeep as our two spinners. The fifth bowler slot, which will be mainly filled by a all-rounder, will be mostly taken up either by Aksar Patel or Hardik Pandya. I'm thinking, depending on how the pitch is. If the pitch requires us to play three spinners, Aksar Patel may get a go, and if the pitch requires us to have a fast bowling option, Hardik Pandya may get a go, and if Hardik Pandya is not fit enough to bowl, then maybe even Shardul Thakur has a chance. Mohammad Siraj is our last fast bowler in the squad. Mohammad Siraj is someone who did really well in Australia. He did an excellent job with his fast bowling, his control, his swing, the rise that he gets from the wicket. Mohammad Siraj may get a chance in the 11 only if there's an injury to someone like an Ishant Sharma or Jasprit Bumrah. So we'll see how the 11 lines up. Let's talk about some of the notable absentees from this squad. First one I want to bring up is T. Natarajan. He got a debut in all three formats in Australia. He's been a revelation since the last IPL. He is a really good player. He will come up and he will continue to fight for a spot in all formats. He did well in his only test match that he played in Australia, and I think he is a prospect for India and he's going to play long term. Definitely in the white ball formats, and I hope he gets a chance in the test formats as well. The next absentee person is Ravindra Jadeja. Ravindra Jadeja is out because of injury. Otherwise he's a definite member of the 11 in Indian pitches. So hopefully he gets well soon and he's able to be a part of the third and fourth test match squad. Mohammad Shami is also still injured. He got a knock on his forearm in Australia and he is still not recovered. Mohammad Shami is out of this tour, and so is Umesh Yadav. Umesh Yadav had an issue once he was bowling in Australia in one of the innings, and then he hasn't recovered enough. I think he started to come back slowly, but he's not 100%, and that's why not a part of the full squad. Another couple of names that are missing. First one is Navdeep Saini. Saini got a little bit of a niggle, but I think he bowled again in the fourth innings of the last test match. So I think fitness may not be the reason why Navdeep Saini is not in the squad. I think it was just because Ishant Sharma is back and we had to have 18 people in the squad that they were planning. Navdeep Saini had to miss out. Siraj was preferred over Saini basically in the squad. And then the last person who missed out is Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi Shaw really had a bad tour to Australia. He did not perform to expectations at all. He was given the chance in the first two test matches, but he did not do well. I think it's time for him to go back to the grind, play some domestic cricket, and then come back, make a comeback to the squad. He is a good player. Does he have it in him for international cricket? I do think he does have the capabilities, but I think it's his temperament that needs some work on. There have been times when he's been given that note that you throw your wicket away too soon. There are people who think that he plays in the Sehwag mold, but he's a different type of player. He's not a Sehwag type player. I hope he goes back to domestic cricket, performs, and learns a lot from some of the experts that we have in the coaching staff of Mumbai team, and then also in the Delhi Daredevils setup where he'll play the IPL, and hopefully he can grow as a player and come back to the Indian team. Good luck to Prithvi Shaw. So thinking about the playing 11, I think we'll have Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Chaiteshwar Pujara, Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane, Rishabh Pant, all-rounder being Hardik Pandya or Aksar Patel depending on the pitch, Ravichandran Ashwin, we'll have Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah, and then either Ishant Sharma or Kuldeep Yadav, again depending on the pitch that is on Chennai. So this was my analysis of the Indian squad. I hope you like the analysis that I did, and I hope you're able to share this content with your friends. Please like my video, share with your friends. Do give me your comments about what you think about the squad, and if you think there were any key notable absentees from this squad that you think should have been a part of the team. I'll come back with my next video on the English squad that we are facing. This is a strong team that England has brought, and I do think that they have a little bit of a weakness in their spin bowling department, but otherwise it's a very robust and strong squad. Their batting isn't something which is very easy to get rid of, so our bowlers will have their task cut out. It's going to be our spin bowlers versus their middle order as a big challenge. We'll see how that goes, and I'll come back with my analysis on the English squad. Until then, continue to share my videos with your friends and family. Do subscribe and like to my channel, and I'll come back with my English squad reviews.